Agenda will start now. Please be ready. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum, Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, Om Swastiastu. Peace upon us. The Honorable First Vice Rector Dr. Stefanus Sanggar Budi Prasetya, S.Sn, M.Si, the Honorable Coordinator International Conference, Mr. Petrus Gogor Bangsa, M.Sn, the Honorable Dr. Seno Gumira Ajidarma from Institut Kesenian Jakarta, the Honorable Professor Masa Kawamukai from Kyoto University of the Arts, Japan, the Honorable Technologist Ahmad Sofiyuddin bin Mohd Shuib from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, the Honorable Paulus Heru Wibowo Kurniawan, S.Sn, M.Sn from Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, Indonesia, the Honorable Levente Siposz from S.Sn, Catholic University, Hungary, and all honorable participants. Welcome to 2022 International Comics and Sequential Art Conference, Virtual Conference, Institut Seni Indonesia, Yogyakarta, Thursday, September 22, 2022. The 2022 International Comics and Sequential Arts Conference is a part of Sequence 2022 International Comic and Sequential Arts Festival is held by Visual Communication Design Studio Program, Faculty of Visual Arts, Institute, the third festival, and this year expands to be an international event. Sequence 2022 International Comics and Sequential Art Festival, the new identity of the previous National Comic Festival, will to provide a room of appreciation for comic creators who make comics driven by their passion and for those who were driven by industrial reason. The International Comics and Sequential Art to this literature, observer, and student in the fields of arts in general, humanity, and especially comics and sequential arts to present their tool at the conference. My name is Amanda Amalia from the program of Visual Design, Faculty of Fine Arts and Visual Design, Institut Seni, Yogyakarta. I'm very happy to be an MC. I would like to ask everyone to use the virtual background. Virtual background already shared in the. Now I would like to read this agenda. The first agenda is opening. The second agenda is praying to God Almighty. The third agenda is singing the national anthem Indonesia Raya. The fourth agenda is coordinator welcome speech. The fifth agenda is Vice Rector 1 welcome speech. The sixth agenda is the keynote presentation and discussion by the panelists, including question and answer segment. This agenda is separated in two sessions. Parallel panel session will start at 12 o'clock until 30:15. The seventh agenda is best presentation announcement from coordinator, and the last is closing. And now, may we start to take a photo. Please turn on your camera. Thank you. Well, before beginning the agenda, let's open our agenda by praying to God Almighty. According to our belief, we may start, please. Thank you very much. May the Now, we are going to deliver Indonesia National Anthem, Indonesia Raya. You may start, please.
Sana
Thank you very much. Fourth agenda is welcome speech from Coordinator International Conference, Mr. Petrus Goger Bangsa, M.Sn. The welcome speech will be delivered by pre-recorded video.
Good afternoon, distinguished audiences, respected speakers, honorable presenters, and all participants of the 2022 International Comics and Sequential Arts Conference. Greeting from Yogyakarta. It is an honor for Indonesia Institute of the Arts Yogyakarta to organize the 2022 International Comics and Sequential Arts Conference. This conference is a part of ComSequence 2022, International Comic and Sequential Arts Festival, held by Visual Communication Design Study Program, Faculty of Visual Arts, Indonesia Institute of the Arts, Yogyakarta. Even with the current global pandemic issue already weakened, the organizing committee has committed to hold the conference virtually. First of all, I would like to say welcome to our virtual conference. This event is indeed indispensable for scholars, professionals, and academicians to meet and exchange ideas on their multidisciplinary interests related to arts, technology, and humanities, and particularly to discuss the current global challenges in this millennium era. This conference are aimed at facilitating a scientific forum that represent a valuable response and commitment policies and application in order to have broadened understanding on any issues in the development of comic and sequential arts. The main topic of the 2022 International Comics and Sequential Arts Conference is Comic and Sequential Art in Humanity Activity Timeline Panels and Spaces. In responding to the discussion of the issues, we are privileged to have among us the experts from our partner universities. They are Institut Kesenian Jakarta, Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, Kyoto University of the Arts Japan, Universiti Teknologi Mara Malaysia, Esterhazy Karoli Catholic University Hungary, and Silpakorn University Thailand, which have already been contributing to succeed this academic forum. On this special occasion, on behalf of the 2022 International Comics and Sequential Arts Conference, we would like to express our deepest appreciation to all respected keynote speakers and participants that you are willing to support us by joining this conference. Thank you to Dr. Seno Gumira Ajidarma, Professor Masa Kawamukai, Ahmad Sofiyuddin bin Mohd Shuib, Paul Heru Wibowo Kurniawan S.Sn. M.Sn., and Levente Siposz. Our sincere gratitude goes to you for sharing your exceptional ideas as keynote speakers. Thank you very much to all special participants from various universities and institutions from Indonesia and overseas countries, outstanding reviewer of the conference, and all parties who have shown the commitment to make this conference successful. We strongly expect that this academic forum will fruitfully produce important outcomes to develop strategic ways and real solutions in facing up the current global challenges in this millennium era. Thank you.
The next agenda is welcome speech from our Vice Rector Stefanus Sanggar Budi Prasetya, S.Sn, M.Sn. The welcome speech will be delivered by pre-recorded video.
Distinguished guests, respected colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Greeting from Yogyakarta, Indonesia. It is a great honor and pleasure for ISI Yogyakarta to welcome all guests and participants of the 2022 International Comics and Sequential Arts Conference. This conference is a part of Sequence 2022 International Comic and Sequential Art Festival held by Visual Communication Design Study Program, Faculty of Visual Arts, ISI Yogyakarta. The symposium is a very meaningful event as there are several events held in this festival, all about comics, like exhibition, competition, discussion, and workshop. This international event is aimed to be a supporting element for scholars, researchers, lecturers, artists, students, and observers to discuss and share any indispensable insight and current information in relation to comic and interdisciplinary arts and humanities in this millennium era. ISI Yogyakarta is indeed supporting this international conference as it is also a great moment in contributing to the development of the comic world, arts and humanities, art creation, and the realization of intermedia arts, which enrich the definition of art to manifest itself in a technological world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very grateful that this conference could be held even though it was delayed due to the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, and we know that it is not easy for anyone in the world. But we still have to keep going even though we have to adapt to the situation. But through advance in communication technology, we can still hold this conference in a hybrid way. Hopefully, we all hope that this pandemic will end soon completely and we can return to our normal activities. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ISI Yogyakarta, I would like to deliver my deepest gratitude and greatest appreciation to all keynote speakers from our national and international partners. Institut Kesenian Jakarta, Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, Kyoto University of the Arts Japan, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, Esterhazy Karoli Catholic University, Hungary, and Silpakorn University, Thailand. Also, presenters and all participants of this International Comic and Sequential Arts Conference. Thank you for your contribution and commitment to make this event successful. I would also like to convey my highest appreciation to the reviewers and committee of the symposium who have represented the enthusiastic effort, contribution, and energy to make this event successful. I hope the symposium brings results for all parties beneficiary and strengthen our academic network year to come. Congratulations to all of you for attending the symposium in the new way, the virtual way. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
And now, without further ado, we may start to the main agenda. First session will be presented by Dr. Seno Gumira Ajidarma, Professor Masa Kawamukai, and Teknologi Ahmad Sofiyuddin bin Mohd. Second session will be presented by Paulus Heru Wibowo and Levente Siposz. This session will be led by Debbie Dwi Elsa, Master of Art, as a moderator. Debbie Dwi Elsa is a lecturer at Study Program of Visual Communication Design, Faculty of Fine Arts and Visual Design, Institut S.Sn, Indonesia, Yogyakarta. Her research about film and female in society and also the industry, such as female representation on spectrum movie, and also the commodification of female sensuality in Indonesia film industry, case study of Warkop DKI. The first session presenter and moderator, please be ready. Well, Debbie Dwi Elsa, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Manda. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, peace upon us. My name is Debbie Dwi Elsa as a moderator. The session will be presented by three keynote speakers, Dr. Seno Gumira Ajidarma from Institut Kesenian Jakarta, Indonesia, Professor Masa Kawamukai from Kyoto University of the Arts, Japan, Technologist Ahmad Sofiyuddin bin Mohd Shuib from Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. This session will be presented by these three keynote speakers. Each speaker has 30 minutes for a presentation. To all participants, please mute your microphone and be orderly during the presentations. And then we will continue with the questions and answer session. After completing all presentations, please write a question for the presenter in the chat room. Make sure that your audio and microphone in the good condition during the question sessions. First presentation is from Dr. Seno Gumira Ajidarma. Seno Gumira Ajidarma was born in 1958. He was worked as journalist since 1977. Now he is a member of panajournal.com, writing fiction and non-fiction in mass media and scientific journal, has won several literary awards, taught about contemporary culture at various universities, has composed the comics Jakarta 2039, 40 years, 9 months after May 12, 14, 1998, and Sukap Intel Melayu, Misteri Harta Centini. with Asnar Zaki, Conversation in the Waiting Room with Sheila Ruswita Putri, Macan with Tom Dean, and Layang Layang with Gerdi Weka. His books are comics of Panji Tengkorak, Culture in Conversations, and Ngobrolin Komik in 2021. Please, Dr. Seno, you have 30 minutes for your presentation. You may start now.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah, permit me to
Good morning.
my share screen. Okay. Can everybody can see this?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. And okay, so yeah, this is a comic from the old order, just before the bloodshed after 65. So this is my interpretation of the concept of this festival, the Kalabendu and the aftermath. Yeah, so I think it's time to reflect what happened after the bloodshed with the comic that published before, yeah, the bloodshed in 1965. So everybody can see this, yeah, the Panakawan.
Yeah.
So I will start with introducing the Semar Gareng with Bagong, the local clowns from Java, which negotiate, yeah, the superiority of characters in the Mahabharata and Ramayana mythologies that dominate the Hindu-Buddhist narratives in the 9th and 10th century. We know that the Mahabharata Ramayana came with all the gods, yeah, and the nobles, but the local adapter, they give a contestation of that characters. So started as the entertaining entourage called Panakawan in the 19th centuries. This Panakawan characters take place as the dominant attraction in the contradictory, sophisticated dance theater. So it's like a paradox, yeah. The dance is very soft, very subtle, and very sophisticated. But this Panakawan, they can do everything they want. Yeah. So is it firstly because they were funny with the acrobatic logic of humor. Secondly, the function is as the catharsis of criticism for the ordinal in the feudal culture in Parliament. So the feudal culture also have the way, yeah, to criticize. This Panakawan, they have double role, yeah. Politically, their position also changed, yeah, from the status of servant to a double role as the advisor gods inside human body, yeah, that act in the time of power crisis. Yeah. So they are not just an ordinary clown. Yeah. They can be fun. They give advice, and if in the time of crisis, they will take the power. Okay. Of course, to give it back after that. Yeah. So in the 20th century, this Panakawan became independent from the mythologies, yeah, from Wayang, from Mahabharata and Ramayana. And with the rise of mass media and popular culture as part of the urban phenomena, the Panakawan continue their role, yeah, as clown and critics with an actual context. Yeah. So they will talk about the contemporary politics, yeah, for instance. Yeah. It is only about time when these Panakawan are then being exploited or manipulated in the ideological struggle of the real world from various interest group. Yeah. The popularity of the Panakawan figures invite the organic intellectuals to signify them for particular ideals, values, and politics. Yeah, like the symbol of this one by Indri Sudono. Yeah, this time the Panakawan is not so funny anymore, and they represent the attitude of a hero, the good one, that taken from an adaptation from the Three Musketeers, yeah, from France, yeah, by Alexandre Dumas. So, who made this adaptation? Yeah, I regard it as the organic intellectuals. They use the Panakawan for their own ideas. Yeah. Okay. This is also happened with them in the comic strip series of The Crazy Family by Lee Aipun, yeah, in the pre-1965 time in Indonesia, which by the New Order regime called the Old Order. So if we call Old Order, that is not the way they want to give the name themselves, yeah, the Soekarno era. Yeah. But the New Order called them the Old Order. Yeah. Okay. So in this 12 numbers of comic strip books of the Crazy Family or Keluarga Miring, with an average of 13 strips from a total 156 strips with various jokes. The specific victim is the Western lifestyle and fashion, because this culture signifying the face of Western bloc as the enemy of the dominant power at the time, which the political orientation is inclining to communist countries. That is what happened before 65, yeah, inclining to communist countries. Yeah, so Indonesia is mentioned together with the Soviet Union or the People's Republic of China, yeah, all the communist power at the time. I think also North Korea, yeah. Okay, it's also to set the normality of standard, yeah. It is interesting to realize that the craziness of the family inside the comic strip world of Lee Aipun is a strategy, yeah, is a to on the way to set up the normality standard. So if this family is crazy, what is the normality standard? This is the way to promote the right ideology at the time. Examining all the strips systematically employed humor theories and cultural studies not only give the opportunities to understand how the political situation works, yeah, but to reconstruct the discourse and find the specific literary as a force of power. So there is a political background, yeah, from 1962 to 1964, a gimmick or trick to shift from the poor economic performance all over the country. Okay, this is the background. There's also national, yeah, political background. The close relation with People's Republic of China that Sukarno expressed as Jakarta picking axis also gave way to Communist Party of Indonesia, or PKI, support the idea of the first force by Sukarno, which put them in an indirect dispute with the army. In this situation, the Navy and Air Force mostly stood behind Sukarno until the post-aborted September 13 movement changed everything. I use three concepts, yeah, to deconstruct the discourse. First is the concept of subversive humor. Yeah, that, yeah, I make it short here. Yeah, that while powerful leaders may use humor to maintain control and repress subordinates, it is also available to those in less powerful positions as a socially acceptable means to subvert authority. Yeah, so it's two-way, yeah, two-way exchange. The second concept is the concept of hegemony, yeah, that hegemony theory sees popular culture as a site of struggle between the forces of resistance and of subordinate groups in society and the forces of incorporation of dominant groups in society, which makes popular culture, these strips, as a terrain of exchange between the two, a terrain marked by resistance and incorporation. The third concept is the concept of codes and signs. First, the codes are the system of signs governed by rules agreed explicitly or implicitly between the members of the using culture. A code consists of signs, words or images, and the rules that govern how they can be used. Sign system governed by similar basic rules and conventions which have a cultural meaning, so we can understand what happened in the comic strip. This is the sample of the analysis. Just a few. So you can see this. Take a look that there's a modern fashion here, that humiliated. The contrast of the well-prepared outfit with the disaster caused by the cat and mouse really look like a fit tactic of humiliation. The open, this from another strip, the open insults to the men in military-like uniform showed a political situation, which represented with a clear one-sidedness view and the humor, to bring the readers agreeing to the point of view on the military, especially the army. In the crazy family world, in the crazy world of the crazy family, the representation of the state as the policeman actually is the representation of normality. Whoever represents normality is the only right one. So the policeman, who set up, the standard, ideology. Strip, showed how to bring the readers to a determination of what is right and wrong in everyday life, because the accused ideology behind it, with the figure of policeman as the standard of normality. You can see here that the high heels, represent the Western ideology, and then when it had happened, her husband have to take off the, what we call this, something for the real, so come the state worker, and he accused that, and he relates, his accusation with the fashion. You can see this, the fashion. So there's another way, to humiliate someone. The strip represent the kind of agitation for the supporters of Western culture. You can see here that he said about ngak-ngik-ngok, it's represent for rock and roll, and how that this Punakawan, it's said that he can be die if he still have the Western ideology. And he can go crazy, So RSD here is Rumah Sakit Jiwa, the sick house for the mad people. Okay. This strip is definitely political and takes side with the group in power. At the time is the Sukarno regime, as the government under Sukarno is behind the Nepos movement. So this powerful women, she has not represent the women, but the Nepos. There's another strip that will represent him here, her as a woman. So my evaluation is, fashion as the cause. Any kind of the latest fashion from the Western world in the 1960s became the source of humiliation. Jengki or tight pants, roksepan or tight-fitting skirt, you can see style or sleeveless dress, gondrong or long hair, sasak or bofang hairdo, off-shoulder skirt, and high-heel shoes. This is the source of humiliation. Like we can see here, what happened with the skirt. And then they laugh at it. In this, this is also the discrimination for indecent culture. In this strip, the important choice of word is modern. Bagor, who wears the very tight and short pants, said that the pants are the most modern. Patrick said it's crazy, and God said jengkol. While leaving the boys comment so and so stupid. So it's the right one. Look at this, But in school, Petruk, the teacher, sent Bagor home to change his pants. Because when the hidden pants show his thigh, it breaks the ethics. The teacher, as the standard of normality, has his sayings to counter the representation of the most modern ideology from the West. So beside clothes, music like ngak-ngikok or jangling and clanking music, that means rock and roll, dancing style like the twist that actually were popular culture, were also placed as the cause to be insulted as harsh as possible. Implicit or explicit, the Western fashion as a representation of ideology, that is, which is capitalism, liberalism, or democracy, is accused as an infection for the society. So this is what happened in the Orde Lama. As the hidden ideology in the play came from PKI, that is Marxism and Leninism, the target of aggression was not only Western fashion style, but also the traditional outfit, which could be regarded to represent feudalism, a regular target of the class struggle. So not only the Western culture, but also the feudalism tradition. The language used by Sakarat, pathetic, the strip, is a juxtaposition of words that are often used in the everyday life with new accentuation, depending on the context of the ideological struggle. So I call this the poetical diction from the street. I will show how this words used, like you Texas come from you Texas, still the same. Chess, you donkey, yes, it means yes, you donkey. And you know that donkey is a play from or monkey and Yankee. It means the Americans or the Western. So there is you female ghost. Momo. This is from the Hollands. The book Momo. So one beetle alias kumbang. It's one beetle or kumbang. But this the sound of beetle refer to the Beatles, the popular band at the time. With petpak kudu busuk, and monkey. Again for Yankee and Saturn, and one donkey also for Yankee. So the verbal text and the strip absorb the popular terms that are used in everyday discourses, from fashion to politics, which were politically twisted to the one side of political interest. That is, to discredit Western culture as taken came from UK and USA, when at the same time they're also a popular political slogan. We crowbar England, we iron America. In Indonesia, it's Inggris kita linggis, Amerika kita setrika. We can see that in the picture all the Western fashion is not good. So therefore, the police, the teacher and doctor, along the way of these comic strip samples of the crazy family, became the profession which is given the sacred role to maintain the standard of morality. I took this from the samples. Then here is the strength and weakness of women that came as a gender problem. The strip with the title, The Weak Gender or kaum lemah, narrates the physical power of a woman when she catches a pickpocket and brings it to the police station. The idea seems like an empowerment of women, but as this is a humor narrative, the victim to make fun is not the pickpocket, because the surprise is between the title, kaum lemah, the weak, and the women, which from the physical and the action is not weak at all. So the humor makes fun with the strength and weakness of the women who wear the skirt and humiliate because of her action. It's the same about the women. If this kind of humor is taken as common, it can also be taken as the representation of the common ethical discourse at the time. So it's very open to gender criticism today. Well, this is the conclusion, and afterward, that there is no sign of Islam in the crazy family. All the political analysis of 1962 and 1965 time in Indonesia always takes attention on Sukarno, army, and PKI triangle contestation of power. But the real power that weakened and finished PKI after the September 13 movement is the religion part of Nasakom. That is the Sukarno fashion of the state ideology, besides Pancasila at the time, is national, religion, and communist, with the support from the army that was the Muslim majority people all over the country. So the army actually led the Muslim majority to finish the PKI. In the strategy of defining normality, the subversive action targets are the codes and signs of Western culture and traditional feudalism, and never of the representation religion, especially Islam. This is not what happened. It's outside the crazy family, where the agitation of PKI on Muslim community last back after the September 13, 1965, with the biggest bloodshed massacre in the history of Indonesia. Okay, this is the picture on the cover by the iPhone. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Seno. The agitation of Indonesian Communism Party on Muslim community in 65 is a huge matter and still relevant to discuss nowadays. Maybe discussion on this topic needs to be elaborated a lot, especially by young generations in order to embrace relations, in order to create the egalitarian country, I think something like that. Okay, and now the next presentation from Professor Masaki Kawamukai. Prof. Masaki, are you already in room? Udah ada belum sih, sis? Okay. Prof. Masaki will presentation after Mr. Ahmad Sofiyuddin, I think. Mr. Ahmad Sofiyuddin, are you ready
Okay.
to present? Okay. Yeah. Mr. Ahmad Sofiyuddin bin Mohd Shuib from Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. Was born in Malaysia. His major study in master degree is visual communication and new media, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. He is a graphic and digital media lecturer, Department Faculty of Arts and Design, University of Teknologi Mara. Mr. Ahmad won the Gold Award at 4th ASEAN International Community of Competition in 2021. Mr. Ahmad, you may start now.
Okay,
please.
thank you. And good morning, everybody. May I share the screen? So, okay, good morning, everybody. So my topic today is about the promoting the forgotten folktales in digital interactive comic book for teenagers in Malaysia. Okay, for introduction, local folktales are disappearing and elected by a spectrum of generation in this country. Okay, by Asmida Alwi, Haryazman, Azriza Osman in 2029. Okay, folktales is considered as a representation of our local culture that plays an important role in the delivering our image and identity in society. Preventing our local folktale is from being forgotten away, especially in this modern era where local folktales may face difficulties in adapting in the society. Okay, folktales can be representing as one of intangible heritages with the art of symbolism and show our identity of society. And local folktales also are rich with plots and wisdom and inject tradition identity in the form of verbal from generation to generation. And Malay folktales are being shadowed by modernized nowadays. For the forgotten local heritage, youngsters are more familiar along with interest with foreign legend rather than with the one from their own country. And modernization and tradition, rapid modernization is now causing Malaysian folktales disappearing and forgotten, especially among the teenagers. A new breath from the past to the present. Okay, there are also limits the offer of interactive element which involve or the related towards a local Malay folk tales. Okay, what is the problem? The problem is the Malaysians were more familiar with the foreign legend rather than the one from their own country. And then Malaysia folk tale is being to fade from the face of our country. The lack of interactive application made for purpose of maintaining and sustaining our local folk tales. Our literature is the literature review reveals the collective data information through study background of selective folktales preference and attractive element that needs to implement or inject in the development of the interactive comic books. This highlights the list of the interactive element in developing an interactive comic books. Our discussion in digital interactive comic, we have 4 discussion. Digital interactive comic, our local Malay folk taste Terengganu, interactive element, software and platform. For digital storytelling is considered as the modern equivalent for oral traditional storytelling, and it is supported as an effective way to conserve our tradition heritage of stories. And for the Mazlan and Bom, folk tales is a part of our culture in a form such as fairy tales and story. Interactive element that we focus on the storyline, art style, character design, motion, touch control in augmented reality. And the software that we use is paint and artify. The method that we use for this research of this talk, okay, in the purpose of data collection is to require the need of both qualitative and quantitative method to achieve detail. The qualitative is a method of a data collection by undergoing interview session with the expert of comic book, developer and profession in the multimedia or motion graphic. This research focused on a youngster at the age of 13 years old until 15 years old. Okay, this is our method. Okay, for the qualitative, our focus the interview and observation, archival data, and then quantitative and analytic for data triangulation. Okay, we have a pre-test, post-test, and finding. Okay, for the interview, we interview for the multimedia expert and then comic book artist. And for the observation, we observe for local taste comic book. And our finding is about the Tujuh Putri storybook, the digital comic book design structure, and also art book for visual concept analysis. The archival data is for the journal research, online printed newspaper, and so on. Okay, the qualitative, we want the social media platform and Google Form. Okay, we have 3 stages for the conducting questionnaire. First stage is, okay, for the first stage, we are questioning about how well do you know about the story of the 7 princes. Okay, this is the answer. And then the second question is, are you interested with the folk tales of the 7 princes? And the third question is, do you interested in the 7 princes will be in the form of comic book? For this question, we want to know, how do you, a young generation, know of the folk tales story? For the answer of number 1 is 66.7 recognized about this story. And second question is 95.7. They are interested to know about the 7 princes. And the third question is 95.6% interested the 7 princes will be in a form of comic books. Okay. And the fourth question is the character design of 7 princes folktales should be 57.7 traditional based on the outfit. Agree for the traditional based on the outfit. And the fifth question, do you prefer the comic book will have a motion or animation? Okay, and 89.9% agree and interested about the comic book will have a motion animation. For our interview session with the expert, with Mr. Anwar Fikri, a multimedia expert, in developing an interactive comic book, you need to focus on 2 things, the content and the character, and deconstruct the original story of folktales but still remain the overall purpose. This way, the audience will expose new things. Multiple dimension interactive storyline is one of the to make the interactive comic book more interactive to the audience. For second expert, Ashraf bin Abdul Rahman is our comic book artist and designer. He said the visual and storyline are the major part to attract the audience, but it also needs to be suitable with the target audience. It's visually attractive if you play with camera angle in the floor panel and how it moves according to the sequence. Based on the character design, it is important that they're able to represent a part of the story based on the outfit. And then from Tim Yong Kwan, our Malaysia Institute of Art, that we have presented this research on the ICAP virtual conference in 2021, he said, this is a very interesting research because the channel is already provide for the kind of innovation. One of the things that I concern is you need to provide a specific channel, medium or platform to get more information of this story. And then this is our visual analysis and visual development. Focusing and concentrating on analyzing visual, the in-depth contribution for the further development. Involve art style, coordination of the comic panels, character disclose and character design. Contributes further visualizing of the comic book of the 7 princes. Discussion for the design outfit, character design for the art style, and also the comic book layout. This is the character design outfit. This is a sample of visual of our analysis. For the character design for the princess in Malaysia, normally we focus on the long hair, big eyes, round eye, big head shape, white lace with floral abstract pattern, floral design pattern, short dress and top, lemon green and royalty yellow color. In Malaysia, the yellow is the royal color. And then for the sample of Universitas for the visual, this is the suit and the what do we wear for the princess. Cucuk sanggul berjurai, realistic facial expression, dokoh selendang sibai, wearing golden rings and bracelets with traditional pattern design, have the gegabah here, and then kain sarung songket ikan seribu pancung ke bawah. This is the outfit for princess at Kelantan. In Malaysia, we have a degree of a country, state that we call Kelantan and Terengganu. So this is for the Kelantan and Terengganu for the okay, talking about comic book layout, detailed character design, intense character facial expression, striking color combination, different variation of camera angle, using strong contrast shadow to give impact towards the character, different type of interface layout, fully digitalized, using as acting. Okay, this is a direction for the readers. And then for our research for character design, okay, sample of visual analysis is one of potential prevents to achieve this research objective. And it is our visual development. Okay, the development we start with a sketch of ideation for characters design outfit. And then outline design of the character design outfit. And then this is for the base color of the character clothes design outfit for the 7 putri or 7 princess. Okay, and then this is the character facial design. And for character design expression design A, and we have a character facial expression for design B. And then this is our final character facial expressions design for the 7 princess. This is the character design for our pre-test. They have the princess number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, and 7. For the second stage of our research, okay, the question for the our target audience is the 7 princess is originally from Terengganu local folk tales and has connection with the famous Ulik Mayang story from Kelantan. Okay, we asked this our target audience, and then the answer is true, 63.6. And number 2 question is, would you feel interest if the 7 princess will be in the form of interactive book? And the answer is 94.1%. Agree that the 7 princess will be in the form of interactive book. And the number 3, what is the characteristic that attract you follow a certain story folktales that we have here? We can see the style. Okay, we can see the beautiful drawing of pictures, and the most higher percent is for the storyline. And this is the character design for the pretest. Okay, character design for Putri, 92% effective. Number 2, and then we have a character design analysis for Putri number 3. We have a character design Putri for number 4. We have a character design Putri for number 5. Okay, we have a various answer from the audience, and then we have answer for the character design Putri number 6 and character design Putri number 7. For according to the all princess, which one the best choice for the main character that we ask our audience? The answer is number 1, the Putri number 1. And then the character design for post-test, Putri number 4, number 5, we have a bit amendment for this character. Okay, this is our visual development on interactive comic book development. For the visual development, this rough sketch storyline, addition development, and digital rough sketch of the visual storyline, the 7 pieces that we have focus for the development. And then the final design for the pre-test of the 7 pieces comic book. Okay, this is the 7 pieces, or mostly known as a Ulik Mayang. It's a mixed folktale that evolved with supernatural events and considered as a fantasy story which believed to. Okay, this is another visual development that we saw in the digital sketch edition of augmented reality. Yeah, and we use the app's art device. Okay, according to the scene, the main plan was to play with the camera angle and give focus of the main character at the center of composition. And then this scene consists movement of the princess hair and provide. And the third scene is the inject the scene of the seriousness and try to develop curiosity among the audience. Okay, this is our clip studio pane that we have made. Then this is one of the scene. Again, and then for the third stage of our questionnaire, okay, this stage is conducting a questionnaire. What is the first impression toward this comic for our target audience? And then 97% interesting about our comics, Seven Princess. And then for the second question, does the vision of the comic make and yet about this attractive to read? And the third question is, the idea of the comic is to develop a pop-up effect using augmented reality. Are you interested to participate? Okay, and 80% agree yes. And then for the fourth question, now that you are experiencing augmented reality, what are your thoughts? Okay, I'm shocked by the effect from the AR and looking forward to experience more. Okay, and then we do the post-test augmented reality to our target audience. The first stage of the experiment is to pass on the printed comic book of the Seven Princes and let them read for a few minutes. The participant that already finished reading the comic book was asked to enter the next room for augmented reality AR test. The participant was given a phone that was already had the application that allow the effect by AR. After they had undergone the experiment, researcher asked them to answer the question using the school facilities, which is the PC. The survey was conducted using form by the Google form. Okay, as you can see, these are the students, our target audience, have been interviewed and then test the comic books and the augmented reality. Okay, and then after the use of augmented reality had increased your interest towards the Seven Princess Forte, and do you think the AR method will increase your interest towards others Malay local folk tales? And the answer from our research interview is 100% is agree about the use of augmented reality, increase their interest, and the AR method will increase our interest towards others Malay local folk tale. Okay, now I will share the experience the augmented reality. Maybe our participant can try this augmented reality. Okay, we can follow this step. Maybe okay, maybe the audience can share try this augmented reality. First, you may install the art device in your phone through your Google Play or Apple Store, and then open the art device apps and scan the picture with the red outline. Okay, maybe we can try for the 2 minutes, 3 minutes, everyone. You can install the device apps. Okay. Right. So this is the example. Okay. Okay. Scan this code to read the Seven Princess digital comic. Scan here, and you can read this Seven Princess comic, and then you can try the augmented reality effect for this comic. Okay, but please skip the advertisement part. Okay, so my conclusion is, it is important that we keep sustainability towards our tradition and heritage and avoid from being neglected or forgotten of our future generation. The effort to bring back tradition into our modern era is highly recommended as it's our intangible identity that should be safeguarded regardless of the global development in this digital era. So thank you for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. We still wait the response from Professor Kawamukai. Nggak ada. Okay, maybe he will presenting at the next session. Now we may start to Q&A session. Is there questions? Okay, one questions from Miss Hesti Rahayu. These questions addressed to Mr. Seno Gumira. Okay. Were there any comics books produced in the era of 65 to campaign the communist ideology? Targeting who? And because at the time, of course, price of books was still expensive and accessible to a limited circle. Okay, Mr. Seno, maybe you will answer the questions, please.
First, I think it's not expensive at the time, because and maybe it is distributed for free as well, maybe, yeah, because this is like an agitation or a promotion of an ideology, yeah. And what important is that this, you know, it's open for research, yeah. Also at the time, we can you know, ask not the creator, the collectors, the collectors to share this as an information, you know, in some website, so for to study. Yeah, it's Spanish. And about the creator, what is interesting here is the first 7 of the comics, there is no permit for the publication. But after the number 7, it is August, yeah, 64. I think there is an escalation, yeah, of a political tension. So, and then there is a permit, yeah, that printed there, yeah, with a number of a license and so on. So it's very specific. It's very specific. It's not a pure humor, yeah, humor comics, but internally political and it's quiet, openly, yeah, not hidden. Yeah, I think that's my answer.
Mr. Seno, what do you think if the comic like Keluarga Miring is published this current time? Is young generation we love to
I think there is a distance.
Comic like that,
maybe
no?
they will like the picture, the fanzine, the context.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For the context, they have to know what is retool, you know, what is you can see, and some things like that is very specific at the time. Yeah. So if you want to publish this, there is it's not, yeah, for actually for the people who want to love, no, yeah, but for people who want to research.
Oh yeah.
So as a document, yeah, as a software document, yeah, with an introduction, yeah, and with like an epilogue at the end, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Seno. Now the question for Mr. Ahmad from Via Royana.
Okay.
We all know. Okay, we all know that comic has broad readers. Is it possible for folklore comics like this are made not only for kids but also the teenager and maybe young adults, maybe with a little change in story and character approach? Okay, Please,
Okay.
Mr.
It is very possible that this comic can go abroad with a little change of the character, but depending on our target audience. Okay, if the comic, the target audience is for the kids or for the teenagers, so the look and the character design more like for the children or the teenagers. But for the design color and everything must change according to the our target audience.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. This is the questions for Mr. Sen, Muhammad Daniel Fahmi Rizal. It was mentioned earlier that keluarga there any Islamic comics that conveyed a similar ideology in those years. Please, Mr. Seno, you may answer.
I don't think so. Yeah, there is no other thing. Yeah, comics for this ideology, and the phenomenon of the Islamic comics come later. I think from the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next question, Mr. Seno, this is the right topic for the end of September, but
Yeah,
it's already answered before. Yeah. Now we may wait for another questions.
I can talk more about the Islamic comics. Yeah.
Yes, please.
There's an Islamic comic as well. Yeah, like from the Medan. Yeah, there is a genre called Medan comics. Yeah, with that the form is like strips as well, like in the paper. Yeah, in the newspaper. And this is very interesting because they don't pretend to give lectures. They just represent the very nice stories, yeah, from the Islamic histories, yeah, the anecdotes, and that is like the Islamic stories that's already well known, So, and sometimes there is a new creation that give samples of an Islamic attitude, something like that, but not a campaign of that has happened later. Yeah, want to lecturing everything. So this is important.
Thank you, sir. The next question for Mr. Ahmad. Mr. Ahmad, can you tell us more about how the industry about comic festival in Malaysia and condition about
Is focused for tales, not focusing for the comics. Okay, they're more to verbal storyline and also the singing and so on. But for the comics, don't have any comics for the state local tales. So for the Malaysia industry, now we are focusing to introducing the local tales of based on state, including from other state like Kedah, Perak, Kelantan, and so on.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. This is the question for both keynote speakers. Should comics serve governments or audience just for selling? What will comic look like in the future? Maybe Mr. Ahmad will answer first.
Okay. For me, okay, or audience, okay, maybe must take responsibility for this industry, comic industry, because this industry is much more important for our new generation, because our new generation and our itself start with the comic reading, because in this comics, okay, it can contribute a lot of information and storyline or information about history with the comic. So I think the government and audience itself maybe have participate to help this industry, and for not just for the city, for this industry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Mr. Seno, you may answer this question.
Yeah, comic as all the media is, is like a language, so like a language as well is can represent every intended opinion, every ideology, even only for information or instructional work. Yeah, so of course it's just like a language. Yeah? You can use for anything, yeah? To criticize, or to advise, or to show how some practical things work, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Seno. Here, Prof. Kawamukai already joined with us. Maybe Mr. Kawamukai will present his presentation right now. Mr. Kawamukai, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, please start your presentation.
Oh, now?
Listen.
Okay.
Before I will describe your bio first. Mr. Professor Masaki Kawamukai is from Kyoto University of the Arts, Japan. Was born in Kyoto. He was studied in the United States and worked at Silicon Valley, associate professor at Kyoto University of the Arts, character design department, business producer, co-founder of Happy Project, corporate brand consulting company, Teichiami, Setnet Fishing, evangelist, okay, thought design thinking, rapid prototyping, and Mr. Kawamukai also as a TED KUA organizer, TED Festival New York speaker, and big fan of First Gundam. Okay, okay, that's all. Please, Mr. Kawamukai, you may start your presentation.
Okay. Thank you for introduction, and I'm very happy to be here. And very honored to be the part of the team and a conference in Keynote Speakers. So I don't know, somehow I've been waiting for the last 2 hours, so nobody asked me to join this room. So finally I found out this room to join this. So yeah, my name is Masa Kawamukai, and I'm from Kyoto University of the Arts. And right now, here in the classroom is 4 students behind me, and they're eating lunch in the lunchtime in Indonesia and Japan, and we have a 2 hours time difference. So we are in 12:50. So that let me start it very quick, my presentation. And so, yeah, can you see this? Oh, what? Can you see it? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let me start my presentation. So it makes sense?
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Hello, guys. So how many people? Yeah, thank you. Yes, I like that sound up. And somebody's smiling face. Yes. Good, good, good. Thank you. All right. So how do I say the hi, Kaumik, alias Kawang Komik?
Apa kabar kawan komik?
Okay, okay, good. Thank you. So yeah, thank you very much I'm very happy to be here. And so my name is Masa. And let me introduce very briefly. My name is Masa, Associate Professor, Character Design Department in Kyoto University of the Arts. And half of my life living in Kyoto. I was born right here in Kyoto. And then 1/4 of my life in San Francisco. And I went to university, Holy Names University. And I met, a few friends from Indonesia. And now he's back to Indonesia, own country. And I think he's running his own company. And his name is Riz Mapu. And he's a car driver. So, yeah, I'm just curious on how he's doing right now. And then back to Japan 20 years ago. Then I started my own company called the Happy Project. Then doing my consulting business. Now I've been moved to Kyoto and actually been in Kobe 4 years ago. And he explained a unique fishing. And that's one of the very famous fishing technology in Japan, but old-fashioned. They've been doing this for the last 400 years. Just floating nets on the ocean, the fish come in and the fish out. And statistically, 80% of the fish is gone. Can you imagine 80% of the fish is gone? Okay, only you can catch only 20% because we can't catch whole things. Otherwise, they can, have a birth and the next generation of fish. So that shows us in Japanese people live with the nation, live with the earth, live with a whole society. So that's what I like. And also she explained about TED. You know TED? I think you have a TEDx in Jakarta or maybe in some TEDx event in Indonesia. I am organizer of TEDx Kyoto University of the Arts. KUA stands for Kyoto University of the Arts. So we will organize with the students next month. Okay. So let me go to the next one. So Kalabentu. Okay, I never heard this words, but this one is a hard time and during the COVID, pandemic. Okay. And sub-theme is also comics and the sequential art. Wait a minute. What's the sequential art? The something sequence. Okay, the manga is also one of the sequential art. Okay, you can read it from the top and the down to the right to the left. So I want to, explain about and share our origin of manga, and that is really sequential art. And how we survive, how we break through and Kalabentu during the COVID. And also we Japanese people, how we break through from the Asian, right? So you should like them, right?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I read some article. I've been studying the marketing, and Indonesia is the world's second the largest number of the people like the manga. Is that true? Oh, yes. So that's why then all in the participants all here, and I hope you like the manga here. All right. So let me share one origin of manga. Is one single piece of paper that looks like a height is 30 centimeters and width is that long. Can you imagine what it is? Can you imagine how that long? 933 centimeters to
1 meter.
1189. What?
1 meter.
No, not 1 meters. 10 meters. This one. It's a part of the, just you can capture the only 50 centimeters of the total 10 meters. This is the origin of a manga we call the Choju Giga. That's the Choju making a sumo. Okay, that one made in the almost 14th or 13th century, way back. Okay, this is the kairu, and how do you call the kairu? Anybody? Frogs, yeah, frogs making a sumo with a rabbit. This is the origin of a manga. All right, and they have 4 volumes, and this is also manga, and it contains 4. This is the origin of a manga, and it contains the narratives and the 3 characteristics. One is the narratives, and another one is the community, and also the rest one is the satires. All right, this one has also content of original manga. Okay, and also this one is the basic sequential art, because one piece of paper is very long, so that you won't be able to store, so that you just roll it up. So that's why we call that this is a picture scroll. When you read it from the right to the left, and keep open, and until the 10 meters end. So that this is the original of sequential art. Here, the one example of this picture rolls, and this one shows you the ordinary people's life, and this comic and these words is also commentable. This is the original and the manga figure. Okay, and this story is something so funny, farting. The people like it, huh? It's gross and it's disgusting. But sometimes people feel that's funny. And this story is made for this old man farting and they become rich. And I have no idea. Can you guess it? Okay. Once this guy is farting around the downtown of Kyoto and a town, and the people thinking it's funny and paying a cash for him. So that's why he became the rich man. Oh. Then other old guys watching, he became the rich guy. So he tried to do the same thing. And guess what? He tried to farting, but he did the actual, I don't want to say that word, but he did the actual things, not the farting. So that all the people beating him, and he fundamental story. One guy is very success, and then other guys, they tried to be the nasty herd, then became a failing. That's the concept of the manga story. One guy is success, and another guy to follow with pure heart, but he tried to be the nasty heart. Then he failed. So farting, I found out another picture scroll, and this one is another picture scroll, and made in the 15th century. And also this one tells you the people having a hard time. And can you see the right-hand side? No, left and the top. You see something weird, this one. So this is yokai. Yokai, have you heard that yokai? Yeah.
Yes.
This one is old, yeah, this one is yokai, and made in the 15th century. But it looks so still colorful. This is, manga style. And also this is rolling style. So you can read it open from the right to the left. Okay, this yokai come to the village and they do bad things for the ordinary people. And the people having a hard time that the color into. So they asked the god of agriculture to beat them. And he said, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go there and they try to beat them to making it calm. So he found out then the 3 servants. But the 3 servants, a monkey and a dog and the birds, right? The 3 number is very unique though. And in Star Wars, Han Solo, and to bring the Tubaha and the C-3PO and R2-D2, right? All usually those are 3 number is a good number in having the servant. The 4 is too much, the 2 is a little weak though, 3 is good though. All right. So then they goes to the land of yokai. Then the yokai boss and came in. But somehow they welcome the god of the agriculture. And they made a party. Okay. But they made a party, they drink too much, and they went back, go to bed and sleep. And guess what? They tried to beat them. No farting, farting, they break the door by farting. So silly. Okay. Then, yokai came out, they beat them by farting. So funny. So keep farting. Keep farting. Man, it looks like how he looks like, and I want to share how he looks like. So this is the original makimono that looks like, and this is the digital. Okay, from the right to the left side. So if you open it, and people come to beg to the god of agriculture. Okay, we have a hard time in Kalabentu from the yokai, so please beat them. They decided to find the 3 serpents, and they prepare, and they go, okay, to the 3 serpents, and they go to the ship, and it goes to the land of the yokai. Okay, then go arrive the yokai, they find it, oh, there it is, but somehow they welcome. So get into the house and having a party. Then they go to night and fucked up the night. Then they try to open up the door by farting. So keep farting to beat them. But it looks so funny and beautiful. Still, you can see this kind of a character in nowadays. But can you imagine that one's drawn in 15th century though? Okay, still keep writing this kind of manga. We see the concept and the 3 servants and so many stuff. We're still using this. So go back and farting again. So finally, they beg down to, please help us. So that's the end of the story. But still, it's beautiful and it's story. People still looking for the funny things, the silly things, but still this narratives is still, people enjoy for that, that's a manga. All right. So hope you enjoyed that one. All right. So this one is the original manga. But anyway, that one is for the digital version of picture scroll and the Museum of History. Okay, you can try that one. So next one. So have you seen this one? Ukiyo-e. All right, ukiyo-e is also an wood block picture. So Japanese people still like it. These are not the special things, but still ordinary people in ukiyo-e. But nowadays, ukiyo-e became our fine arts. And this one is made by Hokusai. And the Hokusai, this title is the Hokusai manga. This is the very first ukiyo-e used by term is manga. But this manga is not the original manga we use right now. That one is randomly drawn pictures. But that one was, amazing. That's the innovation. Hokusai used the manga, the key term. All right. So here's another example of the, ukiyo-e. So that, this ukiyo-e is very well known in the worldwide, and you can see it anywhere. So these are the ukiyo-e became fine arts. So manga has very unique narrative story. This is regional record of ancient history. Okay, this is called the Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki, made in year 712 and then 720. Okay, that tells you how the land of Japan was made. Land was made by God. And uniquely in Japan, we believe the God is everywhere. Yaorozu no Kami in Japanese term, and that means indirect translation is 8 million gods everywhere. Okay, that is also a story, origin of manga. So this is the picture, origin of manga, and made in the Japanese land. And the two gods from the, put it to the liquid from the heaven and then put into the ocean. Then squid, then became the land. That was the original land of Japan. So this is the two gods, and also they are, they got married, and Izanami and Izanagi, and they making a sword, and using the sword, and squeeze it the land, and squeeze is on the ocean and then making a land. That's the original story of the Asian land of Japan. Also, in Japan, the snake, those gods, try to beat that, those snake. That means originally and historically, those big rivers and suffer, and the water flood, and the people have to leave, and the people have to escape from that, so that the God tried to calm down. The God tried to calm down, not the river. It's a river became a big snake, so that God beat. That means God tried to. That also story is original and God and against their land. So the historically Japanese people live with the nature. On the other hand, Eastern people try to conquer, try to control the nature. But Asian people is totally different. We live with the nature, so that the historical and also philosophy is totally different. Our manga is also based on those philosophy. So that story is also became the festival, the local festival. But this local festival, because Japanese people suffer in a heavy temperature, the heavy rain, heavy weather, so that respectively we afraid to those environment. So that's why we try to pray for the good harvest. So that's why Japanese people having a festival and before crop and also before make the fruits of land. So these are the still in the Japanese people using this kind of festival. And Indonesia and Japan, that sounds like, looks like too far, but this one is the path from in India, the origin of Buddhism. Okay, so some Buddhism come through China and Korea and it came to Japan. Some goes to Vietnam, some goes down to Indonesia. I don't know how many people still believe in Buddhism, but your culture is so mixed, it's very unique and very rich. So that we still have a common in Asia, especially I believe. So these are the creation of land. So we think God is everywhere. This is 8 million God. The still people believe so. So that's why the still young anime start making 8 million gods with this kawaii character. Okay, this is actually the iPhone and Android gaming, so that you will see that naturally is 8 million gods in and everywhere. So this is the family tree of God. You can see the God anywhere in Japan, the kitchen of God and the bathroom of God, God of tree and a God of stone, a God of house and what? God of what? Fire, God of wind, God of land. You can see the gods in and everywhere. So let me see right here. Can you see that? Not here. Hold on to it. Yep. Can see right here. So those two gods is Izanagi, Izanami, as I show you, the original of God making the original land of Japan. Okay, they making love to having the kids. Their kids having the kids. They having the kids. So these are family tree. I don't know how that long, but those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are born from them. Okay, but this one is I found out today they were born from his shit, poo-poo. So many different things. Okay, some are disabilities, some are not good, some are too big. But Japan has very wide-hearted. They have so many different gods. So they have, God of wind, God of water, God of mountain, God of ocean, God of river, God of rock, God of stone. Okay, these are the family tree. Then let's go. How long and how far the God history. So yeah, and very unique, but some is good, some is bad. Japan and the origin of Tenno Emperor came from God. I don't know real or not, but still that myth is merged to the current emperor and also royal family system. I don't know when the God, when the real person, I don't know. Still people don't know yet, but still Japanese people accept those vague, ambiguous in the history of emperor and also ambiguous history of God. And also that goes to the reach to the land of God and the land of God made of the Japanese origin. Okay. So let me try to show another slide. Right here. Okay. So in Japan, we are having the very wide open, accept the diversity and so many different things. But I want to show this one. In the last couple of decades, Japan getting weaker and weaker. Even though manga is explored and manga was very famous and loved all over the world, but still Japanese people working too hard. Japanese people working too hard, especially for adults. They forgot how to have fun. So I think this is the time to back to enjoy themselves. How can they help them? I think one of the key is to read the manga and also playing, having fun. And you see so many famous manga in the world, and I think I hope you like the Japanese manga. And this is the original, very traditional, but the Tezuka manga. I think, and I hope you like one of those things. And of course, in Kimetsu, and also Naruto, and One Piece, and the Doraemon, and the Dragon Ball. Those are the very famous, but those are also come from this original Tezuka manga, and then our culture, and behind that is also we live with the nature, as I explained before. So even though new manga come into the market, but still our culture and philosophy is behind that. So here the character design department, and as I work for that belongs to. So character design department is has a manga course and also character design course. You see there's so many different manga, but there's still so many manga you never seen it. So that's why we can educate those manga people, manga creator in the future. So especially in our manga, 1 out of 3 students are debut, even though they before the graduate. These are the example of the manga. Those are our current students created in actual manga books. So many different manga, but so many manga, professional, they debut already. Here, our exhibition done by last week and the manga department. So you can see, I can show you a little bit about the manga. Show. This is the reality you'll be able to enjoy, and you can enter so many different manga done by our student. So we can provide the link so you'll be able to enjoy. So this is the origin of manga, and the manga has a culture. What is the manga culture? Japanese culture. And especially this origin of manga is stored at the temple in Japan. So I don't say the Japanese manga is superior than yours, but our manga is based on our culture. Okay, you'll be able to take out some tips and some essence from us, then merged into your culture. You can make your own culture and you can make your own manga, so that you can spread out again from your country to the world. So we can merge in effectively each other, so that the Japanese manga and your manga try to save the world. Okay, yesterday we have a World Peace Day, and our university seeking for the world. So Geijutsu Nikkoku, Geijutsu means liberal arts. So this is our philosophy: bow down to the mystery of the universe, being aware of the Earth's greatness, love, cherish, living things. So this is our philosophy, and our manga is based on this culture. Hope you like my presentation, and see you again.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kawamukai. Very interesting in-depth explanation of visual culture, development of manga character and its industry. Let's see, may participant maybe would to ask to Mr. Kawamukai. In this column, chat is already so many questions. Okay, maybe we will start for Mr. Ahmad first. Mr. Ahmad, there is a question from Gideon.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, I will call Mr. Gideon, my friend. Okay. Long time no see, brother. Okay, actually, I agree.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. Okay, I agree. Okay. Actually, from my opinion, the strategy is good for marketing or the brand or the story. But for me, for the folktales that we want to teach or implement to the young generation, okay, we on the original books or the folk or our ancestor story, because it can be or adding a new character design is very the storyline and the history actually. It will be probably not our generation from my opinion, Mr. Julian. Okay, but for the strategy wise, it's good.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Sofi.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think folk stories are told in context to specific
Yeah.
audience and in specific time and in specific place of the press. And if we
Yeah.
are planning to retell them.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Yeah, first I will inform you to fill the presence of conference. This already shared in the column chat to all the participants. We maybe can fill and now Kawamukai, would you describe more about what about the manga industry in Japan right now, or what will the future be? What the trend in this current time about the manga industry in Japan right now? Thank you.
Yeah, manga industry, thank you for the good question though. So manga industry is still expanding, and then also the web-based and the app-based manga is came into the market. So last couple of years, manga app and the web-based manga, is very, very increased. And during the COVID and Calabintu era, the people stay home and they do nothing. So that's why they try to read the manga. So that is still expanding. We expect it to keep increasing in the future, though. Okay, do I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Kawamukai. There is a question more for Mr. Ahmad. Maybe Mr. Ahmad would to answer the question for everyone. This is the question from Alia. Maybe
Hello.
Mr.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Alia,
Yeah.
I already answered it on the comment.
Yeah. Would you try to describe again or describe more about Miss Alia question? Maybe Mr. Ahmad.
Okay. For Miss Alia question, for my opinion, I did not agree to the new characteristic for Malaysia folklore characters, as well as the storyline twisted of the originality stories. It is preferable to use original narrative from the ancestor or history storybook, because it's more exciting to watch for the younger generation if you provide fresh character. However, we do not educate or remind them about our original folktale. Okay, I'm focusing on the original folktale. Okay, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad.
Okay.
Maybe another participant will want to ask for the keynote speakers. We have 5 minutes before we are finished this session.
Oh.
Dewi.
Yeah.
I would like to questions with to Kawamukai Sensei. Can I?
Yeah, please.
Kawamukai Sensei, what's the general Japanese feel about modern manga or anime or a game that uses godly or religious characters as a character, as another character that plays a different or even a far different role compared to the original, such as Izanagi or Izanami can be appear as a yokai or as a Pokemon or as a stand, like as in Shin Megami Tensei or in Yokai Watch. What is the general Japanese feel about it? Is there any have they felt angry about this kind of intake to modern manga about this religious and characters?
That's a very good question, though. So as I explained, the show they shared today, the picture scroll with the yokai, and the people historically they don't afraid the yokai, but in some terms the people are afraid it, but they don't hate. We have so many different myths. The myth is based on the yokai or obake, but still people live together. So that's why still people, Japanese people thinking the yokai, obake is not to be too afraid of them. So that's why yokai, Pokemon or the yokai watch, those are still the people is thinking they are the friend. So that's just kind of unique though. So that is also based on that we believe there's so many different gods in everywhere. That's a very, very unique aspect. Do I answer your question?
Yes. You did
Okay.
answer my question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gideon. Thank you, Mr. Kawamukai. Is there any questions from everyone? Okay, Mr. Dimas, would you answer the questions?
Okay, I want to ask to Kawamukai Sensei.
Hi.
The habit of the Japanese mangaka. Is it true that Japanese mangaka or writer could and have a habit to mix match other cultures with Japanese cultures to make something new?
Oh.
As for example, Senseiya, I love that show. Yeah, Senseiya, it resembles of Greek mythology, but the armor itself, look like a samurai armor. It could fall and resemble as a statue. And other stories, I read Ishinomori Sensei Kikaider, Jinsoni Kikaider, resembles Pinocchio with cyborg. Is it true that to make something resembles many some other cultures to make a new story?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Very, very good question though. I see there's so many figures behind you, so you must like Japanese culture. So I like that, and I hope I have this is my different room, so that I don't have any culture. But you said the Kikaida, and also since Akira, yeah, movie Akira, so many different, and also right now nowadays the Chainsaw Man, the new manga and anime, those are the try to mix the new things and the new technologies. So people still, accept and imagine more than the new culture in Japan. The still younger kids try to mix with all the new things into our culture and making a new manga. Yeah, they still continue to do so. Their imagination is, excellent. Do I answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah. Kikaida is one of my very good things. So I grew up with it.
Just a minute. I want to show you. Okay, this is the one of.
I like that. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Dimas, are your questions already acceptable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is we are running out of time. I think we already finished these sessions. Thank you, Mr. Seno. Thank you, Mr. Ahmad and Mr. Kawamukai. This discussion is very interesting, and thank you for all participants, and thank you for the good cooperation. So this discussion runs without any problems. Okay, Ms. Manda, you will take the chart.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Devi. The keynote presentation session 1 has ended. We will take a break for 30 minutes before we start the parallel session at 12 o'clock. And don't forget to come back at 12 o'clock with the same Zoom link. We will wait for you. Thank you.